D8.
Bill 158 by Senator Ginal and Representative Furlow concerning the continuation of the Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act and in connection therewith, implementing some of the recommendations contained in the 2018 Sunset Report by the Department of the Regulatory Agencies and making an appropriation.
Senator Ginal.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 158 and ask for an aye vote.
Is there further discussion? Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I was a no vote and will be a no vote on Senate Bill 158. It is a sunset reauthorization for the Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act. And many may say, and I may be asked at my public town hall meeting where a defibrillator will be present, why would you be against a bill that permits the regulation of animal care and facilities? Don't we want to take care of our pets? And my answer is yes, I do. I care about my pets as much as any of you do. So please, I can't stop you, but please don't come down here and say, well, I care about my pets, and sort of implicitly indicate that maybe the senator from El Paso County doesn't care as much about his dog as others of you do. But what is my concern about this? Well, it's a regulatory structure like any other, and it has the potential to run amok. And this particular regulatory regime and structure has run amok in ways that is almost unimaginable. It first came to my attention, and I have to say, the Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act, PACFA, was not something that was on my radar screen much at all. It's something that generally is assigned to the Ag Committee. And when I was in the House, it was initially authorized, and it had a sunset. And it's under the purview of the Department of Agriculture. And we've already heard from some people today that apparently we need to pass bills to tell the Department of Agriculture what its job is. But what happened was, when I served in the House, I picked up a copy of that conservative newspaper, The Westward, in 2013, and this is to this bill because what it was about some regulations that were promulgated or proposed to be promulgated, actually, under PACFA, and could be promulgated under PACFA today. So let me read just a little bit from you. It's entitled Mandatory Life Jackets for Dogs in Kennels. Colorado could be the first. This is January 4th, 2013. How safe are doggy pools in Colorado pet care centers? Apparently dangerous enough that the state's Department of Agriculture is now considering rules to mandate life jackets for dogs in the state's boarding kennels and daycare facilities. And officials say that if they ultimately go forward with this plan, Colorado would probably want to be one of the first states to do this. I like it when Colorado is a leading state in things. Now, just to make sure everyone understands I'm referring to this bill, at that time, PACFA permitted these regulations, and if it reauthorized, it will continue to permit these regulations. Now, I have to say that because of this Westward article, the conservative anti-regulatory Westward magazine, newspaper, they were able to turn this around, and we don't have doggy life preservers. But let me tell you what was being considered. Officials from the Pet Animal Care Facilities Act program, a branch of the state's Department of Agriculture, emphasized that it's just a proposal and nothing is finalized. The idea of requiring canine flotation devices was inspired by the recent tragic drowning incidents, says Kate Anderson, a veterinarian and program manager for PACFA. What we're talking about, this is a quote, what we're talking about is what ways can we protect dogs in pools. Having a flotation device on the dog, that's one option. Each and every one of those is a tragic accident. I agree with that it's a very sad thing for the pet owner. And I really encourage pet owners who leave their pets at a facility to take a good hard look at that facility. And if there's a doggy pool, it's a pool that...
Would the good senator from El Paso County please try to stay to the constraints of Senate Bill 158? I vividly remember, as you do, and several members who were in the House, the slideshow with then Representative Norberg, or a past time, but I would hope that you could help talk to the merits of this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, what this bill would allow is the sorts of things that were suggested in 2013, and they haven't gone away. There's a suggestion, and Mr. President, in order to kind of cut to the chase, there's a suggestion here that we have doggy lifeguards as an idea. Now, my efforts in the past to restrict the ability to have doggy life preservers and doggy lifeguards was rebuffed. It turns out that when given regulatory powers, government apparently wishes to have unbridled regulatory powers, and PACFA is one of those. And while those regulations did not become the rule then, just imagine what could happen. And it was because of a doggy daycare owner saying, what's the cost? But what if under the PACFA program they wanted to promulgate regulations that would say, if you're offered doggy life preservers that are in conformance with the doggy life preserver requirements, you must accept those doggy life preservers. And you must train your employees on how to use the doggy life preservers. You say, oh, don't be absurd. You're just being absurd, Senator Gardner. No, I'm not. The fact that it was suggested at all to start with is what is wrong with these regulatory schemes. And we have to draw the line someplace. And I appreciate that the senator from Fort Collins, the good senator from Fort Collins, is carrying this sunset reauthorization. But I wager that no one from DORA or the Department of Agriculture said, you know, we had this controversy about doggy life preservers and doggy lifeguards, and what we really need to do is limit our authority so the public could have some confidence that we're going to be reasonable regulators. Time after time, when people come down and assert that they are not supporting a bill because of excessive regulation or the ability to excessively regulate, someone will come down and say, we have the smartest people working on this. We're going to have an advisory committee of the smartest people in the room. Well, I suggest to you that one of the smartest people in the room decided doggy life preservers and doggy lifeguards was a really good use of regulatory power by the state, and that in order to accomplish this, they would publish a set of regulations. They would begin to take public comment on the regulations. Oh, I would have loved to have been at that public comment session. But regulator and reasonable are two words that are seldom found in the same sentence. Members, whether it be mandates for defibrillators or a regulatory scheme that it permits a mandate for doggy life preservers, I don't know what you do for kitty cats, is a step too far for government. It is time to say no. And I ask you to say no to Senate Bill 158. Pet owners themselves are well equipped to decide what is right for their pet. We don't let people decide what's right for their children in this state anymore, but at least we ought to let them decide what's best for their pet. I ask for a no vote.
Further discussion. Senator Ginal.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to the senator that's a good country lawyer from El Paso County. I really you have great, interesting comments on regulations that don't exist. Doggy life preservers, doggy lifeguards do not exist at this moment in regulation. Perhaps that may spark some interest, I'm not sure. But I do want to clarify that I think all of you had on your desk this photo this morning, and I found it quite interesting. I think this might be even the good senator from El Paso County's dog, a golden retriever. He had on a blow-up neck flotation device with actually some scuba gear and some flippers next to a little kiddie pool, okay? And boy, maybe we ought to have regulations because things have changed. I mean, really, this is a blow-up device. And let me show you what we have now for the newest and greatest doggy life preservers that are available for cats, for dogs. I mean, in different colors. They can pretend they're sharks or dolphins or anything. It comes in pink polka dot, whatever you wish. But if we have regulations on this, then the good senator from El Paso County, you really need to update the life preserver that you have for your golden retriever, because that's really, the technology has totally changed, and maybe he would like to have one of these newer ones. So I just want to say that these life preservers are there for cats as well, and for pigs. I've seen them for all sorts of animals. And I just want to say that, you know, PACFA, or the Pet Animal Care Facilities Act, has been around since 1995, and it has really provided consumer protection and pet protection. And we might want to think of this in regulation. I'm not sure. I hadn't thought of it before you brought it up, but I think the safety and the welfare of our pets is really important. And if you really love your dog, you might want to update that life preserver if you use that. So anyways, I just hope you all realize the importance of the Pet Facilities Act and will support it. Thank you.